Hi, welcome to Simply Scuba. Now your reel and spool is one of your more essential pieces of kit, especially if you're moving into deeper territory or you're going into overhead environments. But there are lots of different aspects to reels and spools, so let's take a closer look. Hand reel. Traditional reels have a handle attached onto them and a spool that will turn on a swivel. They usually have a handle and they often have some kind of ratchet mechanism that stops the line from paying out until you hold down a button or some kind of lever. As soon as you start winding on that spool, it'll tighten, but if you try to pay out more line, that ratchet system will lock it in position. Finger spool. Finger spools are much more compact than a traditional reel. They've basically taken the handle off but left the spool. You use a finger or a thumb as the axle, and then all the little dots, the cutouts all the way around the outside, you use them as the locking mechanism to lock the line in position and to store the line afterwards. You need a double-ended bolt snap to attach onto the line, and then you can use the other end to attach it to a D-ring. Cave line. Cave lines are built to get you in and out of overhead environments like wrecks and caves. They typically have lots of line so that you can pay out a guideline, some kind of locking mechanism that stops it from paying out line with a simple screw. The big handle just allows you to hold onto it whilst you're swimming along paying out line. But when you want to lock it in position, you just tighten up that screw to stop it from paying out or releasing any more line. Compact reel. Compact reels are a bit of a hybrid between a reel and a spool. They're shaped and sized as a spool, but they do have a little handle and a winder and also a feeder as well, like a reel, so that you can use it a bit like a reel but in the size and shape of a spool. Metal spool. While most spools are made out of plastic or some kind of Delrin, metal spools are either made out of stainless steel or anodized aluminium to improve the strength and durability, meaning they'll last longer, especially if you drop a cylinder on them. Pocket reel. Pocket reels are much like compact reels, except the main body and the line is all enclosed inside to try and reduce snags and tanglements. They have a simple ratchet mechanism that holds it from paying out line unless you press down on the little button. Cold water spool. Cold water spools have a slightly larger hole in the center of the spool so that you can use it with gloved hands. And they also have a larger section on one side just to give you a bit of extra grip, and you can use that double-ended bolt snap as a bit of a turn handle to wind the line back on. Line. Whilst the shape and the size of spools and reels can change, so too can the line. The line is very important. A white line is your most traditional nylon style. They typically work, they're quite inexpensive as well. But you do also get different coloured lines. Orange and yellow do contrast quite nicely against the blue and green waters, and you can get tapes instead of lines, so tapes tend to be flat and a little bit easier to control whilst you're in the water. They're a bit neater to wind on as well. Size. Reels and spools of course come in lots of different shapes and sizes as well as lengths. So the longer the line, typically the larger the spool. So pick the right size that you're going to need it for. If you're only sending an SMB up for a 5-meter safety stop, then you don't need a 45-meter spool. Leader. So your leader is the end of the line that you're going to attach onto the different items. You typically want the entire loop a little bit larger than your hand so that you can fit your gloved hand through it, which makes it easier to tie knots. Using a small item like a small section of surgical tubing or a kind of bead allows you to really control the line and tie knots that little bit easier. But if you're using on a spool, you've got to make sure that it passes through the notches inside that spool. So that was a quick look at reels and spools. All of these are available at our website simplyscuba.com. Let us know what kind of reel or spool that you use in the comments below. Thanks for watching and safe diving.